Welcome back to Slow Unpacking, where we will take our sweet time. Magic the Gathering is a game, but for me it's more about the story. I love watching unpackings of cards. Who doesn't want to hear that satisfying crackle? This is nice, but I always find myself pausing the video between the cards to try to look at them. So I thought, why not just pause the video for myself? This way I can unravel the story together with you. This is Slow Unpacking. Benevolent Blessing from Ekaterina Burmak. Benevolent Blessing will protect something that is important to you. It comes in when you need it the most. The amazing thing is that the man that is being blessed does not know what he will be protected from, but he seems to embrace the blessing just as much. The art emphasizes how important blessings are for white philosophy. Everyone is watching the blessing happen. All of Ekaterina's work makes you feel like you know these people. So now we are bystanders of a miracle yet to happen as well. Scrapdiver Serpent from Adrian Smith. Flavor: smart artificers clean up after themselves. When a skilled artificer leaves its creations, some of the parts might start to construct their own bodies. This snake will probably not be very happy with its owner. This card is originally from Mirrodin, and with Phyrexians all around, I would not leave my angry robot snakes either. The sun in this piece is controversial for a blue card. It stands for a new awakening here, one that the artificer did not see coming, apparently. Now that is a lesson, which is a blue thing. Skyraker Giant from Anastaasia ovchinnikova. Flavor: she will not be content until hers is the highest head in the sky. Skyraker Giant is a little bit of a jealous person. They want to be the tallest in all the lands. That would fit well on a Tinder page, of course. Their methods are probably not that attractive. Skyraker is seen here killing a dragon because it was flying too high. What a bleak sight. The use of this card is that the giant can be an angry attacker, but more so an efficient defender. Just think about it. Put it on an island and no flying thing will reach you. Haunted Cloak from Volkan Baga. Flavor: bear the weight of so many spirits and you'll surrender civility and restraint to savagery and instinct. Haunted Cloak is a possessed cloak from Innistrad. Whoever wears it must constantly hear the screams of the beings that wore it before you. In the art we see two of the previous owners, a human and an elk. The elk was probably the first owner. This is a sad cloak. Now, artifacts that give you haste and are cheap to equip are very useful. The savagery from the flavor gives you trample and haste, and the instincts give you vigilance. Just try it on, might be fun. Wildsize from Jim Murray. Flavor: 2 times the size, 4 times the smell. Wildsize is a cruel depiction from Ravnica, of a goblin becoming enraged and supposedly being angry at his friend. The art is what it is supposed to be. Goofy and thought-provoking. For the bigger goblin, probably is just being thrown off by its boar because of its size or smell. That is why its stance is in this way, and he is probably not even angry at his friend. Supernatural Stamina from Christopher Muller. Flavor: all are not equal, neither in life nor after death. Bontu's favorites will stand highest in eternity. From Senefet, Vizier of Bontu. Here we see another kind of blessing, the one of a god that you strive to impress, that blesses you with the gift of just living a moment more, before dying. It is more of a curse in Amonkhet to live though, because you want to die so that you can enter eternity. This is more of a second chance than a blessing. I love that in some arts, the focus is on the color when you first look at it, making us see 2 arrows in someone and knowing that the person survives. Only when looking a bit longer we see the anguish in the person's face. This guy does not want this extra life. Fiery Cannonade by Ben Wootten. Flavor: wary of the ferocious dinosaurs, the Legion of Dusk built up their walls of their fort, just in time for the pirates to burn them down. This card is from Ixalan, where pirates and vampires are constantly at war. Vampires want to build up their society, while pirates just think it's fun to burn it down. The most interesting thing about this card is that it is a tribal semi-board wipe, or so it was in Limited against vampires and merfolk as well. Maelstrom Colossus from Svetlin Velinov. Flavor: nothing of the Maelstrom is quiet or easy. From Ajani Goldmane. There are multiple Maelstroms in the world of magic, but none as impactful as the one Ajani is implying. This one started when all the shards of Alara clashed, starting random events of elementals and mana energies creating new beings into life. This being shows off a massive amount of mana, coming together as well. It is wild and natural, but still an artifact. The Cascade ability shows off that after this being is created, another one is created like a ripple effect. Ripple effects can be very wild. Ancient Animus from Titus Lunter. Flavor: Multani's mind grasped for consciousness as rage itself rebuilt his body. Multani is another character that was killed before and also one that has fought corrections before. In this case we see something resembling him as he was slowly being revived. He just is a little angry that he had been killed before and now he will try to kill our golden planeswalker friend. The art here is amazing for me, how the light shines against us and through the tree to make its eyes feel alive. It also shows us how Multani is still soulless, but yet life will find its way. Bitter Revelation by Viktor Titov. Flavor: here you lie then, Yugen. The corpses of worlds will join you in the tomb. Soren Marco. Bitter Revelation is the exact moment of realization that you find out that something is going horribly wrong. The same is to be said for Soren here, who had looked for Yugen to ask for help in beating the Anastaasia. Now he knows that all is lost. Viktor is an amazing artist and has become way better even. He used to make paintings of beautiful strokes of color that incite emotion. Now his work is even more realistic, but the colors still work as well. Here we see some art where he is just in the middle of this growth, where the strokes are the literal emotion of Soren, who is pretty detailed and emotional himself. We may draw 2 cards, but we will lose life and hope. Fire Diamond by Lindsey Look. Flavor: the essence of flame to stoke the spirit. Lindsey Look makes hands. For this Dominaria set there were 6 of them, and they all are very different. Of course we see the mountains here, but we also see a hand with what seems like burnt fingers. These hands are all realistic because you must have used the references very well. Kitesail Skirmisher from Sidharth Chaturvedi. Kitesail Skirmisher is another pirate from Ixalan. It helps its friends fly around to cause mostly just mischief, just like how the previous pirates wanted to just play with their vampire friends. The art of Ixalan is all very well aligned. The director must have done some great work. With the pirates we see this very well as well, where their colors always feel like they have lived free forever. The yellow sail with birds flying around them and the free sky behind them as well. Kitesail Courier by Mila Pesic. Kitesail is the largest village of the Githkin people. Githkin means friends and family, and that is exactly what they stand for. These are solitary small people, predominantly white. Their stories often tell about blessings as well, a very big theme in this pack. A quote from the Book of Githkin is, "If one's life is blessed, solutions to all life's problems will appear in the right moment." The art shows us how the messenger is seen smiling, probably because will be helping her friends, a blessing of her own. Githkin use magic in powder form. We can see this powder sprinkling from her courier's back. Make a Stand by Magali Villeneuve. Flavor: for a moment they stood tall, all fear forgotten. Previous week we saw Magali and how relentless pursuits, strands of faith were executed so well. Here we see another way of making light work. Now imagine being attacked by Eldrazi titans and all of your fellow soldiers have already died. Now it does not seem like there's any hope for your whole freaking planet. Then you realize that these are your last moments. Might as well keep on fighting for a little bit more, right? Here we see another way of showing light, as I said. Here we see light as a protection, but also as a proverbial light of hope. However faint, this is one of the most white cards I have ever seen. A blessing from within, as you will. Slaughter the Strong by Randy Vargas. Flavor? Cut the beasts out from under them and their strength is nothing. Fona Oviedo, Butcher of Magan. Slaughter the Strong is white in another way. A card from Ixalan, where we see vampires board wipe mostly just the dinosaur people, but also pirates a little. White is mechanically more about a lot of small powered people and protecting them, but can be rooted against the singular strong, like dinosaurs in this example. We have seen 2 or 3 dinosaurs dead already in these previous packs. This one is way more sad. We see the dust settle after a battle and a knight laying down by its steed. We don't need to see his face to feel his sadness. Crafted Wargear by Alex Horley-Orlandelli. Crafted Wargear is an equipment from Mirrodin, where the equipment is attached to your body so much that it becomes your body. So obviously when it is removed you will not survive. The art shows us a man who is in pain and in some ways furious, and the equipment itself is trying to take over the body. This is probably the inspiration where Spider-Man's venom comes from, which is impressive. Promise of Tomorrow by Seb McKinnon. Flavor? Death can wait. I am not sure where this card plays out. I do recognize the flag from Takir, and we know of the Hour of Promise from Amonkhet, but it is still not really clear. There's one thing for sure, this is about reanimation. The art is more conceptual as well, with people holding hands, watching the sun, all of their backs are turned to us, making me feel like they are traveling towards the light. They seem sad, but they have each other. Seb's art makes me feel the most, and they are also conceptual. He has a recognizable style as well. Seb makes death a beautiful thing, which hits me personally and it will hit you as well. Now, the use of this card is interesting with the card that will follow. This seems to be one-sided board wipe protection. We have seen some of them before in this pack. Nevinyrral Urborg Tyrant from Yongye Choi. Nevinyrral of Urborg is the most powerful Lich Lord of Urborg ever. He is mostly black as he searches for power through the reading of tomes, blue, and the uses of his minions, white. He used his army to attack Bogardian, an island with a lot of volcanoes. Why? No one knows, but he wanted power. These people commanded dragons and used fire magic, and they beat Nevinyrral's forces. Instead of handing over his power though, he destroyed his own city and all the knowledge with it. Very black Nevin. Yongye makes a lot of important characters. I think that is because he makes them exactly how you think they should look. Some examples are Kaya, Tybalt, Nissa, Ajani, Teferi, Vivian, Narset and Jessica, who we have seen destroying Miltani before. In the case of Nevin, Larry, we see someone who is a lord and who is obviously dead. We see Urborg's walls with more than 20 skulls hanging from his palisades, and we see Nevin's, Larry's eyes. When you look closely at them, you can see how he has just lost the game of Monopoly and would rather flip the table than give you the win. Perfect. For the anti-board wipe mechanics of him, we can see how Nevinyrral's powers allow him to revive a whole country as long as many people had just died there. Also, when he is sure to lose, he will take everything with him. Siani Eye of the Storm from Honhua Koei. Siani is a follower of the Jeskai way on Tarkir. Usually, the Jeskai prefer to focus on preserving knowledge, which meant to stay away from the midst of battle when you can. Siani obviously prefers the Eye of the Storm, for this is where you learn the most. Siani only exists in the first timeline. In the second timeline of Tarkir, she probably would have died in the midst of battle. Konwa's art is perfect for showing off magicians' powers. The power is often subtle like a ghost's whips, but also seemingly deadly. And we can see from the serious and depressive stances of the magicians that there is power here. Siani shows us this through how she seemingly creates the eye of the storm, and with how her stance shows balance through the violence around her. And lastly, Soldier from Svetlin Velinov. What a goon squad. These guys are either ready for a fight, or they just came out of the Colosseum and are now ready for a fight. Soldiers are the most inconsequential tokens when alone, but together they can look as confident as this. I want to thank you for watching through all of the video, or thank you for skipping through the video to the end, which is really weird. But yeah, thank you anyways. And yeah, I hope that you did enjoy, and if not, please tell me why.